Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we aren't just looking at geography, we are unpacking an absolute phenomenon. We're going to explore how India operates on a scale and at extremes that are literally unlike anywhere else on Earth. Let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be exploring this massive nation through four distinct lenses: a nation of billions, landscapes of extreme contrasts, culture, ingenuity, and mysteries, and finally, a global cultural powerhouse. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, a nation of billions, the demographic behemoth. 50,000. Try to picture that for a second. That is how much India's population grows every single day. That translates to about 1.5 million new people every month. So basically, every 30 days, India adds more people than the entire population of Estonia. And demographers predict this climb won't even peak until around 2064, at a staggering 1.7 billion people. Because of that massive growth, back in 2023, India officially overtook China to become the most populous country in the world, passing the 1.4 billion mark. Holding 17.3% of the global population means nearly 1 in every 6 people walking the earth today lives in India. It fundamentally shifts how we even think about human scale. To wrap your head around that massive number, consider that India's individual states actually rival major global nations. Take Uttar Pradesh, for example. It alone is home to around 241 million people. If it were an independent country, it would be the 6th most populous nation in the entire world, easily outpacing entire countries like Brazil or Japan. But this isn't just about total numbers, it's really about density and survival. The Ganges River Basin acts as this massive cradle of civilization. It provides the absolute critical water and fertile soil required to sustain life on this kind of magnitude. Today, there are over 500 million people living and thriving in this single river basin. To put that into perspective, that is more than the population of all of South America, sustained by one sprawling network of rivers. And when a nation is this heavily populated, its institutions have to be colossal just to keep up. Take India's Ministry of Defense. It's actually the world's largest employer with nearly 3 million people. That completely dwarfs global corporate giants like Walmart, and it even outnumbers the entire total workforce of the country of Finland. It really shows how a single organization can shape millions of livelihoods. Moving on to Section 2, landscapes of extreme contrasts. From blistering heat to freezing peaks. Talk about whiplash, look at this temperature contrast. You've got the Siachen Glacier in the Himalayas plunging to a bone-chilling minus 55 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the desert town of Faloti scorches at 51 degrees. That is a 106 degrees Celsius temperature difference within the exact same country. It's a geographical extreme that completely redefines the concept of diverse climates. And the extremes definitely don't stop at temperature. The village of Mawsynraim in Meghalaya actually holds the title for the wettest place on Earth. It receives an astonishing 12,000 millimeters of rainfall a year. All that water transforms the landscape into this lush, mist-covered wonderland, just filled with dense greenery and waterfalls. Now, immediately contrast that deep lushness with the Rann of Kutch and Gujarat. During the dry season, it's a blindingly white, 7,500 square kilometers salt desert, the largest of its kind in the world. Yet it undergoes this dramatic transformation, temporarily flooding during the monsoon to become a vast, shallow haven for migrating flamingos. It's like two entirely different planets. India also pushes the absolute extremes of altitude. That icy Siachen Glacier isn't just cold. Sitting up to 6,700 meters high, it serves as the highest battlefield on Earth. Meanwhile, human engineering takes on the sky at the Umling Law Pass. At 5,799 meters, it's the world's highest motorable road. That's literally higher than Mount Everest Base Camp. Insane, right? Let's head into Section 3, culture, ingenuity, and mysteries, navigating diversity and isolation. In those heavy, relentless rains of Meghalaya we talked about earlier, locals don't just build bridges, they actually grow them. For centuries, they've practiced this incredible form of bioengineering. They carefully guide the aerial roots of Ficus elastica trees, intertwining them over decades. The result is a network of strong, functional, living root bridges that can support dozens of people crossing roaring rivers all at once. It's an absolutely awe-inspiring adaptation to nature. Beyond physical ingenuity, India's cultural complexity is staggering. Surprisingly, India has no single national language. While there are 22 official languages, there are roughly 780 languages spoken in total. The linguistic divide is incredibly deep. The North largely speaks Indo-Aryan languages, while the South speaks entirely different Dravidian languages, meaning speakers often cannot understand each other without a secondary shared language. Which brings us to a really fascinating question. What remains untouched in a nation of over 1.4 billion people? In a place this crowded and interconnected, is true isolation even possible anymore? It turns out, yes. Incredible mysteries hide in plain sight. First, there's Adam's Bridge, a submerged 48-kilometer chain of ancient limestone shoals that once physically connected India to Sri Lanka. And off the coast in the Andaman Islands, you'll find North Sentinel Island. It's home to the Sentinelese people, one of the world's last uncontacted indigenous tribes who fiercely protect their isolation from the billions of people living just miles away. Okay, pivoting from extreme isolation right back to massive human convergence, consider this number, 76 million. That is the jaw-dropping amount of people who gathered on a single day, January 29th, at the 2025 Kumbh Mela religious festival in Prayagraj. To ground that in reality, 76 million people gathering peacefully in one place on a single day is greater than the entire population of the United Kingdom. And over the full 45 days of the festival, an unbelievable 670 million people attended. That makes it the largest peaceful gathering in recorded human history. Bringing us to our final part, Section 4, a global cultural powerhouse, the diaspora effect. India's immense scale simply doesn't stay inside its borders. There are over 35 million people of Indian origin living abroad, giving India the largest diaspora in the world. With over 5 million Indians in the United States alone, this massive population plays a truly critical role in shaping the global technology you use and the culture you consume every single day. Just look at how deep that global reach goes in the island nation of Mauritius. Over 70% of its entire population, around 900,000 people, are of Indian origin. It perfectly showcases how India isn't just a giant at home, but a transformative cultural powerhouse worldwide, literally shifting demographics across oceans. Which leaves us with this final thought. When a nation operates on these kinds of extreme scales, from a population growing by 50,000 a day to the highest battlefields to the largest human gatherings in history, you really have to ask, how will this demographic and cultural giant shape the next century of human history? It's not just a country, it's a driving force of our planet's future. Think about that, and I'll catch you in our next explainer.